And ladies and gentlemen, to MBR, or as we like to call it around here, Nothing But Rants, the show where I find topics that I'm oddly passionate about and I pontificate upon them. These are not hot takes, but rather takes that I'm hot about. What is up, ladies and gentlemen? In the words of let's try that again. In the words of Texas's black cowboy hat wearing, guitar strumming, love ballad singing, tequila business owning, badass himself, George Strait. Don't be afraid to take me by the hand if you want to. If this is love, if you think this is love, I think this is how love goes. Check yes or no. Good God Almighty, it's been a while. Typically, I listen to these songs before we go live, but nonetheless, check yes or no. Great song by George Strait. You should listen to it. Wholly butchered on that one. College football players, guys, they have themselves a choice coming up soon in the form of the long-awaited NCAA video game coming back to stores in 2024. I know a lot of people are excited about it. According to reports today, college football players will be given the option to be compensated roughly $500 total for their name, image, and likeness, or the option of opting out. It's a literal check, yes or no. The yes that you check as a college football player comes with $500. The no comes with no. It comes with a generic football player put in your place as opposed to that $500 and your name and your image and your likeness being used on the college football game in and of itself. And of course, this led to every NIL expert in the world that's out here for the protection of players to just absolutely shit a brick. I mean, $500, are you kidding me? That's not near enough, right? That was the sentiment from everyone that is out here NILing, all right? Everyone that is out here NILing and protecting these kids from making as much money as they possibly can, while may or maybe not and taking percentages, that's not the point. Nonetheless, all these folks that out here with the best common interests of players were out and up in arms, okay? My man's from the vice president, the vice president of the College Football Players Association, which is a brand new entity, by the way. I think it started in 2021 when NIL was created. College Football Players Association was invented. So I don't know if y'all knew this, but there is a Players Association in college football. I knew this today. I found out about this today reading these articles. But the vice president came out with a very staunch and very hardened opinion about this $500. He said all current players should boycott this deal. It is an opt-in deal, and they should not opt into it. It is just a ridiculously low amount of money. You should not participate in this. It is a simple cash grab to just try to get you for your lowest amount possible. Now, look, you guys know me. I'm pro player as pro player can be. I'm all about going and getting your money. And by all accounts, I understand that this is a tactic. This is very much so a tactic of we will not stand for $500. We will stand for X amount of dollars, and you will meet us in the middle with Y. But when you meet us with $500 off rip, we are going to cause a stink. And that's exactly what that quote was. But my question to college football players and folks like my man's right here, the vice president of this new Players Association, newish Players Association, I should say. What leverage do college football players have right now with regards to NCAA and this video game? Dude, the consumer has gone so long without this product that it was called NCAA when it was around. That name doesn't even make any sense anymore. The NCAA ceased to exist with regards to college football. A college football video game being named NCAA makes zero sense. That's how long it's been since this game's been around. The consumer has waited for something so long, they don't give a shit how it comes out. I'm telling you right now, I looked and searched and scanned my brain today, writing show notes. How on earth am I going to apply this to any other customer or any other product or any other thing that's ever been on the shelves and then pulled? College football and NCAA, the video game, was such a beloved product. It was universally admired. Everyone loved it. Everyone. It was pulled from the shelves because it was no longer being able to be made. 10 years later, y'all are about to make a new one, and you think we care about whether or not players are in it. Well, guess what? We don't. Give me QB 12. I don't care. Give me QB 15. I don't care. We don't care. The consumer does not care. So, players, I want you to make as much money as you possibly can. But understand something. If EA Sports wants to go out tomorrow and just go bare minimum and pay nothing but schools for the licensing fees, That son of a gun will be the most played video game of the year. You have no leverage. And when you have no leverage, you accept what you get, right? And when you accept what you get, you be happy about it. And here's what I also think is a really, really shallow argument and talking point when people come out here and be like, oh, $500, that's nothing. $500 is not enough. Caleb Williams should hold out for $1 million. All these people with all these takes and all these opinions. Guys, do you know how invaluable it is to be on that game? You should know, Georgia fans, because you know who one of the most beloved NCAA football players of all time is? DJ Shockley. DJ Shockley in NCAA 2006 was the best player on the game. Everyone played with him. Florida fans played with him. Tech fans played with him. Bama fans played with him because he was exceptional, because he was modded. The game was OD. If you had him, you scored 100. It didn't matter if you were good. Okay. Friend of the show, Aaron Murray, he told me he got to add an extra 0 on his TV contracts because he was the last quarterback on NCAA 14. That's no joke. Actually, that is a joke, but you get what I'm saying. It is invaluable to be in these games, even if you are a generic human being. And now you're telling me you're actually going to get to make people look like that? Dude, if you are a guy, you will be immortalized on these football games. Immortalized on these football games for eternity. And God forbid if you happen to match up with a year where the game creators actually make a half decent football game, that people are going to play that for decades. Yeah, it might not be worth $500. It might be worth $500,000. All right, whatever your magical number, vice president of the Players Association is, whatever your made up number is, NIL agent out there listening to this show, whatever your made up number is for how much that is worth, I'm telling you right now, it is eternal wealth to be one of these immortalized human beings in these video games, because that's what they are. NCAA 14 holds a special place in everyone's heart. Everyone's. Okay? And these video games always will, right? As long as especially the first one that comes back out. Are you kidding me? Waive the fee. Put me in it for free. I don't care. Listen to me right now, NCAA. I will do voiceover right now for free. You do not have to pay me. I will do everything. I will work teeth to bone. I will work, tooth to bone? Well, down to my bones. I will do whatever. Just let me put my voice on it. I don't give a shit. You don't have to pay me nothing. You don't even put my name on it. Just put my voice on there. I don't care. It's bargaining power out the act. It's forever. Don't understand that. Because you want to bark at $500 because you think the game's going to make X hundred millions. That's fine. Whew. How about Q&A tonight, ramping up with an opening rant right there? Let's fire off questions. It is Q&A night tonight. You are going to see some content on this channel at some point from an interview we did today from my man, Joseph Jonah Ajonye. Joseph Jonah Ajonye. Say it with me. Ajonye, by the way, not a John Ye, if anybody out, Ajonye. Joseph Jonah Ajonye, that's a tough one. Joseph Jonah Ajonye joined us earlier today. That interview is going to come out at some point. I want to give you the overviews, though. First of all, incredible human being. Second of all, if you're a college scout, and I know you college football coaches listen to this because I saw a bunch of y'all at the KSU Mega Camp the other day, and y'all all talk about how you're friends of the show, and you listen. So listen to me now. If you're not recruiting Nigerian football players, you are going to get bypassed. You're gone. If you are not recruiting these individuals that can pack on massive amounts of weight like this, you're gone. You are by the wayside. You are out of here forever and always. Joseph Ajonye told us today, Jonah Ajonye, we're going to call him JJA for right now. JJA told us today that he gained like 45 pounds in the last 18 months. And it ain't like he just got to America. Man's been in America for since 2015. But all of a sudden, he's just throwing on massive amounts of muscle mass. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, you're listening today, and you happen to be in the business of talent acquisition, Nigerians, especially if you're looking for edge rushers, running backs, linebackers, any explosive traits, basically. Okay. Super excited to bring you that interview. It'll come out whenever it comes out. Let's get into some Q&A right here. Here we go. Who is your player comp for Joseph Phillips? I see Micah Parsons at 6'2.5", 250. Is not supposed to move by that, but he'd be routing then Mossing folks up at receiver. He's a freak. He is a freak. He's talking about Joe Phillips, the linebacker from up north. He is a big boy. He is like, I think he came down here on his visit and weighed in at like 247, 248. I mean, he is a big man at like 6'2.5", just like you said about Micah Parsons. I don't like to do that. Okay. I don't like to do the, hey, could he be this? And then compare him to probably arguably the best rookie defensive player in, I don't know, 15 years. Yeah, let's do that. You know what I mean? But like stuff, physical stature wise, maybe. Yeah. But he's also going to play traditional inside linebacker, very similar to what Micah did, right? I heard a lot of people compare Nolan coming out in the most recent draft to Hassan Reddick and then throw in Micah Parsons as well as this like hybrid linebacker edge rusher type human. You're right in the sense that Micah Parsons coming out of high school was a traditional stand-up Mike Willie backer. Like he played inside linebacker and then is now evolving into a predominant edge rusher. That is a rare path. I don't see Joe Phillips taking that path. The thing that makes Micah very, very unique, and the reason he's going to go to an edge rusher position is his unique bend and his ability to use his hands and win. Let's see here. We gave you a little chat nug earlier in the show. Scroll back up into the live chat. You can figure that out right now. Even though I mistyped it the first time, we got it the second time. Will we finish with the number one recruiting rankings? Do you think it'll be as record-breaking as once anticipated? I'm still of the impression that Georgia not only finishes with the number one class, they got a really, really good shot at the greatest class of all time for a variety of reasons. There are such things as silent commits. Now, I don't necessarily – I think there's like two categories of silent commits. There's like, Coach, I'm going to be a dog. Like, no shit, we're coming. Like, I'm not messing with you. I love this place. I'm gonna go on other visits, but I'm just going to be honest with them. But I am coming to Georgia. There are those, and then there's, yeah, man, Coach, I'm gonna be a dog. You know what I mean? We're gonna see. I'm gonna be a dog though. Yeah, we're gonna see. There's a lot of like, Coach, I'm gonna be a dog. Like, we in here. You know what I mean? There's a lot of that going on right now in this 2024 class. And, you know, I had sources that were expecting this after the first title. The first title, they thought the weight, like the dam was going to break open and the floodgates were just going to happen. And they were going to get every player that they ever wanted. If for some reason it took 2 titles. And you know what? If things take that kind of perfection 2 times in a row, then you deserve to get whatever you get. Right. And right now they're going to get whatever they really want. If I don't like to do, they're not taking that kid. They're not recruiting that kid. But we are very honest with our Patreon subscribers. They are going to let some guys go this class that fan bases that listen or that give you shit in your mentions on Twitter and fan bases that are observing Georgia will be like, oh, dang, Georgia let that guy out or Georgia missed on that guy or how did so-and-so. No, they just like, hey, man, we ain't got room. We ain't got room. We like somebody else. Like, we like this. Okay, we got a chance at this over here, so we might flip that. We really think we got a chance of flipping that. Okay, you know, that's going on right now. And when I said the other day, everybody, I meant everybody. Like, yeah, I do believe Georgia's not only going to finish with the number one class, but potentially the number one overall class in the history of recruiting. Who are the top 3 receivers on the team by midseason? Okay, so let's take the tight end out. Okay, and then let's go. I would go Ladd McConkey, Dominic Lovett, and I'm gonna go Marcus Rosemy-Jacksaint. I think there's something to be said about being a guy like Marcus who's done what he's done for as long as he has at the University of Georgia without being a 1. He's never really been a 1. He's always been a 2, sometimes a 3, maybe even a 4. You know, at that X spot and that Z spot. And now he's going to have an opportunity to at least, you know, compete for a 1 or a 2 spot at the X spot with Ra Thomas, obviously. But most importantly, I throw that name out there because I do believe he's built a massive amount of rapport with Carson Beck. They're both Florida kids, right? They both came in the same class. They've been throwing it on scout team together for a long, long time, or they had been throwing on scout team together for a long, long time. And there is something about knowing what a guy's going to do at all times, right? Like there's never going to be a moment on Saturday when Carson Beck is watching Marcus Rosemy-Jacksaint run an option route, right? Where he has an option to do 1 of 2 things or 1 of 3 things and not know exactly what he's about to do. That is invaluable when we're talking about, third downs, third and longs, third and mediums, things like that. When the game gets tight and starts speeding up really, really quickly, you tend to lean back on the things that you know. And I will tell you that Carson Beck and Marcus Rosemi-Jacksaint certainly know each other. Another one that, guys, I'm going to tell you right now, because we're probably already getting the comments flooding up. I know it's Rosemi. I know my brain knows it's Rosemi, but my brain also knows that I'm stupid. So it says Rosemi. So I'm sorry. Just like Joseph Jonah Ajonye, I said that name over and over and over and over again, just like the opening quotes of this article or this show, man. I get fat tongue sometimes. And, I'm not perfect. I don't try to be on air. And I hope that resonates with you guys, because as nice as some of this stuff might get one day, as wherever it takes us, I don't think I'll ever stop, being goofy. If I don't have another word for it, but just not being perfect. You know what I mean? I don't mind not being perfect. I like being myself. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't do this as much as I do. So, we're gonna mess things up. We're gonna say Dominic instead of Dominique. We're gonna say Dominique instead of Dominic sometimes. Who's my other one? We're gonna say Bullard. I know it's Bullard. My brain knows it's Bullard. My brain's been saying Bullard for years now. Okay, so that's just the way it is. I'm sorry. Sue me. No, don't sue me. Don't sue me. Don't sue me. That's a joke. I don't have a big legal team. What kind of running back is he? Oh, he's talking about the chug, the chat nug. Make sure you go hit that. Make sure you go back up there and look at that. Also, make sure you're hitting that question mark in these questions, so we're making sure we're hitting them. Hey, Brooks, what's the deal with Ryan Wings? I think he means Ryan Wingo. Been hearing some rumors about some possible tension between him and UGA. Do you know anything about that? Ask Aiden Cruz. So let's talk about Ryan Wingo. Zacoby White. Let me go look at the commitment list. Hold on. This is sometimes the problem with off the cuff. Don't you already have? Yeah, you already have 2 or 3 wide receiver commits, and you're holding on to them. So let's look here. Okay, Nikar sticking, Zacoby White sticking, and Nitro Tuggle sticking. You know why Nitro Tuggle is going to stick in this class? Because, ladies and gentlemen, he is never, or by the way, not never. He's going to go down to IMG Academy this year and have like 900 yards and play in front of a bunch of college football coaches, and everybody's going to be like, holy shit, who is that? And coach can be like, oh, that's Nitro. His name's Nitro? Yeah, his name's Nitro. Where's he going? Oh, he's going to Georgia. Georgia found him before we did, coach. That kind of thing. You know what I mean? So those 3 guys are already in the class, and you're going to stick there and hold there strongly. After that, it's a wait and see game with a very, 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 very good football player down there in Florida. I think he's committed to another school that wears red, garnet. I think he's the next Julio Jones. I do. Not Ryan Wingo. I think Jeremiah Smith's the next Julio Jones. That's who I think it is. And there's going to be a lot of people, like if you're a Ohio State fan, listen to this for some reason. There's going to be a lot of Ohio State fans that say, oh, you're the best. Come play for the best. Brian Hartline's amazing. And I would say yes. But I would also look at Jeremiah Smith and tell him he could go play at Shorter University or Georgia State, and he'd be a top 25 pick in 3 years. That guy is so freaking good at football. So good at football. It's ridiculous. So I don't necessarily think he needs Brian Hartline. I think Brian Hartline probably needs him a lot more than he needs Brian Hartline. So there, I would go with that. But as far as the Ryan Wingo stuff goes, right, I just named off 3. You're hunting a 4th. All right. There's not a ton of room left anyways. I don't know about any tension. Okay. I don't know about any tension. I was told that the visit went fairly well. And that's that. You know what? I'll get to that sidebar here in a minute. Hey, chat, remind me about a sidebar. That's all I'll say. Here we go. Riddick locked in his OV to Alabama. Do you think he signs with Georgia? Georgia thinks he signs with Georgia as of right now. So we'll leave it at that. Like, subscribe, and line up those questions. People hit the question mark. See, my boy Rudy already got y'all. See, Sensei Rudy is in the chat teaching everybody what's going on here. Make sure you hit that thumbs up. Okay. Also, if you're not subscribed, please do. Make sure you're putting in the chat all your questions, and make sure you're putting a question mark on your questions. Look at that guy. He's absolutely killing it. Why can't we seem to close on studs on wide receivers? I think we just pretty much hit on that. I don't think you have a problem. Stetson Ledford asks, is CJ the sleeper in our wide receiver room at Georgia? He's talking about CJ Smith, wide receiver out of Florida, right? Super burner, about 6'2", real tall, real long. Got some special like in-game speed. Yeah, you can consider that a sleeper for sure. But the problem with these guys that right now have shown the ability to do one thing, or in CJ's case, hasn't shown the ability publicly to do even that one thing. But the straight line guys, man, you use the fastest one the most and the most reliable one most, right? You'll just use Arian Smith, and then when he's gone, CJ might slide in there or Anthony Evans might slide in there. These super burners, unless you're always running go routes, unless you're always playing that kind of offense, they're kind of going to be played in spurts, right? I mean, look at Arian Smith's career stats. He's got like 7 catches, 5 of them are for touchdowns or something like that. So that we're not going to you very often, but B, when we're going to you for a shot, right? So if that's the case, if we're only throwing Arian the ball 7 times, then we might only throw it to CJ maybe once or twice, and he might only get on the field every once in a while. You see what I'm saying? So it's really, really hard to be a sleeper in the sense that going into the year, you weren't really talked about, and then all of a sudden midway through the year, you're exploding, because even at that position with that skill set, you're not going to get a bunch of run anyways. See what I'm saying? Who do we see step up and lead the linebacker room? JDJ and Smile Mondon for sure. I think you're more talking about the outside linebacker room with Nolan Smith having been gone, Rudy, and I would say Chaz Chambliss, but in a very, very different way. A very different way. Very much so, hey, watch me work, guys. Watch how this goes down, right? I would love for Chaz Chambliss to just follow him around for like a week and observe his work ethic and see if it inspires me any. You know, I talk about it all the time. I think I got a pretty good work ethic. I think I work pretty hard. I would imagine if I spent a week with Chaz, I'd come back thinking I was pretty soft. You know what I mean? Not like, you ain't got to be a hard ass to work hard. Don't get me wrong. You ain't got to be buffed out, tatted up, and look like you could kill people to be a hard ass. I'm just talking about hard. Like when it comes to, that's going to be a clip. When it comes to being like a tough man and working hard and having an extreme amount of work ethic, I would probably learn something from Chaz Chambliss, as most of his young colleagues in that outside linebacker room will as well. First freshman to score a touchdown. Ooh, got to be a running back, right? Got to be a young back. Maybe Roderick, because it's always garbage time, right? It's always garbage time. But hey, hold on. Is there a young? No, none of the freshman receivers are going to play. I don't think. Not in an extent where like Nitro or excuse me, Yazid's going to be on the field like in the second quarter where they're still throwing the football. Freshman receivers this year aren't going to be in until they're up 40. I wouldn't imagine. It's just too deep. It's too deep of a class to think too deep of a room to think that the freshmen are going to get on the field early on in the season, I believe. So yeah, I'd probably go with Roger Robinson. It's pretty easy to take that one. Take the young running back. Here we go. It took 2 titles for LSU. The one-off national title don't hold water anymore. That's a great comment by Chef right there, and I can't believe I said that because I don't even like that guy. Moving on. Does Daniel Calhoun really have an 85-inch wingspan? Give me 1 second. I can tell you exactly how big Daniel Calhoun is. This will be fun. This is always good. It's always good live content. Brooks digging through his phone and giving you exact measurements. Let's see here. Daniel Calhoun is 6'5 3/4, 300 pounds. He does have 35-inch arms and does have an 85-inch wingspan. Yeah, he's a big man. He's a very large man. And good football player. Moving on. You stick around long enough, you'll start understanding. Yeah, there you go. Patreon.com/Brooks Austin Slide and Scale Majiggy. On to the next one. Do you see Bobo letting the QB, a.k.a. Beck, air it out this season to get over 4,000 yards passing and surpass Stet? Yes, by nature of design, or by design, or by nature, maybe not by design. Okay, what do I mean by that? We just talked about that receiver room. That receiver room added a bunch of talent this offseason, right? That receiver room added 2 SEC starters into the room, and Ra Thomas and Dominic Lovett. We'll see. I'll be honest, and I could be made totally wrong on this, and we'll see. I know Dominic Lovett's going to be good. I know that. I think Dominic Lovett right now, like, pencil him in 750 yards. It's just what he is. He's going to be open constantly. So Ra could be 350 classic X receiver at the University of Georgia that looks beautiful, and they might throw him a couple posts once every 6 weeks, and then the rest of it's just digs. Or he could be 900 yards. He could be 800 yards. He could be whatever. I tend to lean more over here with, hey man, like, y'all are I still think Georgia is a tight end slot football team. That's what they are this fall. They will be a Brock Bowers, Dominic Lovett, Ladd McConkey, Ra Thomas football team. Rock, Kendall, Dejon. That kind of stuff. Oh, man, asking me about Upper South Carolina Piedmont region I should take a look at this fall. Oh, man, I don't even know. I have no clue. Every South Carolina football player that I've met comes from the beach towns, like outer edge beach towns, not where it's like actual beach towns, but where they're the first town in from the beach. They're normal folk. And their yard is just like made of sand, and they play on like sand grass fields. Them boys get on turf at these camps, and they're just like, what is this? And they move, boy. They move. So yeah, I would maybe go like, so pick a major beach town with the closest major city and go pick a high school football game in between the two. Okay, in that no man's land. I bet you're going to find a dude. And if you do, let me know. All right? If you do, let me know. Have you liked the video yet? That's a great question. That's a great question. You probably should. Do you think we'll get new broadcast angles soon, like QB helmet cam, all 22, more sky cam, and which camera angles would you like to see in broadcast? So this is a two-pronged question, and I'm about to get on my high horse. It's a question very near and dear to my heart. Very near and dear to my heart as the film guy. So the all 22 is properties of the coaches themselves. The coaches and the universities own that footage. That is just like these tripods sitting right here. That is tripods sitting in the end zone and sitting in the 50-yard line in the press box. You know, just zooming in, keeping everything in frame. It is the coach's copy. That is what is actually called, not the all 22. People call it the all 22 because you can see all 22 football players. But football players and football world terminology, that is called the coach's copy. For that reason, they own that shit. Coaches. You want to know why you don't have an NFL Game Pass-like experience for college football? College coaches. You want to know why we can't sit right here, right now on a public broadcast and do all 22 footage without getting copyright striked by YouTube? College football coaches. They are very, very protective of their stuff. They think that opponents can just, or like people can watch their footage and figure out everything that they do. And like, we can figure out, Florida State's entire organization by just watching 75 clips of all 22. I don't get it. I've never understood it. I do not understand for the life of me how college football coaches and college coaches in general and high school coaches and coaches in general can stand in front of their football team and tell them everything is about the process. It's all about what we do before Friday nights. It's all about getting ready before the storm. It's all about culture. It's all about this. It's all about, hey, take care of business. The product will handle itself on Friday night. Practice. All that shit. And then y'all want to be like all hoverative and protective over the actual product. Once the game film comes out, we can't grab it. We can't have it. Why? If everything's about the process, if everything's about how you made what you put on the field, why can't I take the hump of garbage you put on the field and use it? I don't know. Whew. So, yeah, it's college coaches. There you go. Sidebar. I wish we could openly discuss NIL. Can we? Am I allowed to? Am I allowed to say that player X, and it's not, there's a bunch of these examples, so please don't go back and timestamp this. Player X costs too much money for this school. This school don't want to pay that much money. Are we allowed to say that? Can we say that? I don't know. So somebody let me know, because y'all out here running wild, and I can't be honest with my people. I got to sit here and act like, whatever. I don't even know. I got to sit here and act like I don't know, or that the world don't know, or that the recruiting world don't know. We got to act like we don't know, or are we allowed to say that the money ain't matching? The two sides are not coming to an agreement, because with the NFL we can do this. When we actually talk about players as if they are salary employees, because they are, when we actually are allowed to do this and they're actually contractually bound, I can sit here and say Lamar Jackson's holding out because he thinks Baltimore's not paying him enough. I can say that, and then he can hold out and he can get his money. But with A.D. Mitchell, I can't sit here and say, well, Texas obviously came in and told him he was going to get a bunch of money, and then he went to Georgia and said, can I have the same? And they said no. But we all can look at that and see that, right? We can all look at that and see that right there in front of it. But we can't talk about it. Sidebar. What freshmen have they signed this past year? Hit that like button. Has a chance to play early and often this UGA in his UGA career. Okay. I'm glad I got the signing list still pulled up. Lawson Lucky's obviously gotten a bunch of hype already. But here's what I'm gonna say. Get your screen recording ready. If y'all are one of them people that likes to record me and keep tabs on me, I'm gonna tell you right now. There is a tremendous amount of buzz out of the University of Georgia right now, particularly Glenn Schumann's room. They think Raylan Wilson and CJ Allen are going to be better linebackers than anybody they've ever had. Yes, Roquan Smith's name openly gets brought up in this discussion when this comment gets made. Yes, because the first question is better than Roquan? Coach, I might maybe so. Coach, I really think it might happen. Like, yeah. So CJ Allen, Raylan Wilson, gonna play this fall. Okay. And like real snaps, not burner time, real snaps. Okay. So yeah, there's that. I think those two football players are gonna be long time, great linebackers. See another one. I gotta avoid this question basically. Brooks, does UGA even care to sign top 5 running backs in their class anymore, or is the recruiting legit slipping? Okay. Justice Haynes went to Alabama. The Turbo kid went to Alabama. Let's take those two kids apart or aside. All the other like 5-star running backs, where are they going? A lot of them going to Texas. A lot of them going to Miami. A lot of them going to USC. Some of them going to Tennessee. Anybody smart enough to connect the dots without me dragging you to the water and making you drink it? Running back's an expensive position. Running back is a very expensive position. You know why? Because running backs know that their lifespan, once it hits the next level, is very, very short. So they better get as much as they can right now when they can. So running backs are very, very expensive. And you know who has a really, really great track record of taking 3-star in-state running backs like Dejon Edwards and making them SEC starters and making them people that, people have faith in on Saturdays? Georgia. Q&A is going to get people like me in a lot of trouble in the future because there are no rules. We don't know. There are rules, but no one follows them. You know how I know no one follows them? Freaking Deion Sanders did a live commitment on IG, on Instagram Live. Social media did a live video with a player that committed to his program. Do you know how illegal that shit is? Kirby Smart can't even talk about football players who haven't signed their letter of intent during their press conferences. He can't even mention them by name. You know why? Because there's an NCAA rule against it. NCAA ain't doing nothing. NCAA ain't going after Deion Sanders for getting kids to commit on Instagram Live with him. even though it's very, very legal, even though it's very, very much so an NCAA violation. Like, you are not allowed to do that. You're not allowed to be seen publicly like that in that form of fashion with a recruit pledging his allegiances to your program. Like, you can't do that. Oh, man. Oh, man, we got folks in the chat missing the Jimbo intro. I can't even hold you. I think I lost the Jimbo intro. I don't even know where it's at. I ain't even playing with you. Brooks, 2023 Georgia offense better than 2022 Georgia offense. What's your take? Better how? They won't be more multiple. I'll tell you that. Okay. Georgia's 2022 offense could line up 3-by-1, like play it true air raid. They could line up 12 personnel, bang it down your throat, no pause. All right. They could line up 12 personnel and go naked boot. Definitely no pause. Out of their offensive formations, they were far more multiple last year than they will be this year for a couple of reasons. One, they had to move the pocket and they could move the pocket. What does that mean? Well, they had to move the pocket because Stetson Bennett, 6 foot, got some things knocked down, maybe some suspect, offensive line play early on in the season, definitely some suspect offensive line play in 2021. So, right, the offense had become much more what we call manipulating the launch point, derived. It was always about moving the quarterback, always about getting the launch point to vary every single snap. We're going to throw it from here. 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 Okay. So that was by necessity and by design, by the fact that, Stetson had legs, right? I'm not saying Carson Beck does not have legs. You're going to hear a lot about Carson Beck being a sneaky athlete. And I guarantee you someone at ESPN gets fed the information that Carson Beck is an absolute hooper. I mean, an absolute hooper, like second, third pick in the pickup game hoop line on the UGA roster, like dead ass cold hooper. So someone's going to get that information and someone's going to let it rip on College Game Day. And everybody's going to be like, ooh, insto facto, sneaky athlete. Brooks, does UGA, we already did this one. Any other Georgia versus SEC school stories on the recruiting trail like that? This is my first time getting out all season. That's a great question. Not off the top of my head. I got one for you. So unofficial visits, they're unofficial because you're not supposed to pay for them. I heard about sometimes coaches go out of their way to make sure kids from the East Coast might be able to take unofficial visits to the West Coast. Kids from the West Coast might be able to take unofficial visits to the East Coast, despite the fact that they don't have the financial means to make these things happen. I don't know if you know, but cross-country flights, especially direct flights, they're pretty expensive. So, like, kids with no money, hard to get out to the school that they might want to go to or they might want to see, and they might want to see it multiple times, and 3 days on an official visit is not necessarily enough. So sometimes, a lot of times, another one of these NCAA rules that's getting broke at a rampant rate that nobody pays attention to, no one cares to dig up. Unofficial visits, a lot of times, they get taken care of somehow, some way, right? So I remember this one story of a certain Pac-12 school not understanding how this works and not understanding that it looks bad to have kids fly across the country on Spirit Airlines when you could have just spent like an extra $100, $150 coach that makes a couple $100,000 every year. Like, you could have spent a couple of $100 more to make sure that player X doesn't have to ride across country on a Spirit airline flight. You know what I mean? That kind of stuff does not fly at elite programs. I'm not saying that Alabama cheats. I'm just telling you that Alabama ain't flying kids on Spirit Airlines when they are cheating. You know what I mean? So there you go. Who's the next D lineman you think we pick up? I don't know. I think I do know. Patreon.com/Brooks Austin. I put a sliding scale majiggy in today on Patreon.com/Brooks Austin of 97 percentile. And let me tell you something. My majiggy don't miss. My majiggy don't miss. Somebody listening tonight going, what's a majiggy? My exact point. What is a majiggy? What is a crystal ball? What is a prediction machine? It's a majiggy. It's a thingamajiggy. So we got us some thingamajiggy, and our majiggy don't miss, baby. Who do you think will be the top 3 QBs at the Elite 11? I don't like to go into this with preconceived notions, and here's why. Film can lie big time. Big time. And without calling anybody's names out, I'm not going to do that. No, I'll do it in this extent because they did it at the Elite 11 and they showed the final rankings anyways. And you can look this up. It's been well covered. Tyler Buckner's junior tape in high school is phenomenal. Phenomenal. I mean, like some of the best shit you'll ever watch. Bad dude. Bad dude. Throwing balls everywhere. Okay. Just scooting away from folks. All right. Was looking like a dude. I expected to show up at the Elite 11 and watch Buddy throw howitzers. And then I show up and it was not that. It was not that to a point where I think he finished 21 out of 22 on the Elite 11 finals at SI.com. Like it was bad. So I don't like to go in with any kind of preconceived notions. The Elite 11 finals are for me to find out. Let me find out. You know what I mean? Let me find out. Let me not worry about film in that case. Let me just show up. Let me evaluate. And then I'll go back and watch the tape. That's kind of my deal there, despite the fact that I've probably seen most of the tapes anyways. Do you think Jeremiah Smith would be better than Marvin Harrison Jr.? Also, another thing that I don't like to do because I like to take the knowns. Marvin Harrison Jr. is a known commodity. For 2 straight seasons, he will be the best receiver in college football. Will Jeremiah Smith be that? I'm like 90% sure. Like 95% sure that he will be the best receiver in college football for at least 2 seasons before being a first-round pick. But I know, you know what I'm saying? Like I know with 100% certainty that Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to be a top 5 pick, top 10 pick. He's going to be the best receiver again this year in college football. Like I know those things. Do I have good premonitions about Jeremiah Smith doing the same thing? Hell yeah. That dude is so good. He's good. I think I did enough service to him. We don't even have to do this one, Chris, not to demean your question. We don't even have to do the Jeremiah Smith, Marvin Harrison Jr. thing when my opening statement about him was he's the next Julio Jones. You know what I'm saying? Like, we probably gave him enough love. Probably gave him enough credit there. Over under defense getting 45 sacks. 45 divided by 15 is 3 sacks a game. I'm going under. Yeah, for sure. Hard under. Yeah, they're not a sack football team. It's not what they do. Which freshman do you think will have the Malachi Starks type of year? I think we already hit this. It's the linebackers for me. Let's see here. What are the chances we have a minor fall off with Bobo at the helm? Guys, I think there's I'm going to go into pre-Bobo defense mode because I got a feeling I'm gonna Tom Herman strap that mofo on this year when it comes to the Mike Bobo defense team. I already know people are going to be looking to me being like, Brooks, what are you seeing? And I'm going to have to go out there and be like, guys, he's a good coordinator. They're just not executing. I got a feeling I'm already going to have to do it because despite the fact that Kirby Smart's won 2 national titles and it's clearly shown that he knows what he is doing, there are people ready to shit down his neck for this Bobo hire. There are already people waiting in the woods. There are people with their pitchforks ready to say, I told you so. 3rd and long draw ain't nothing. I know they're ready. So I'm probably going to have to be one of these guys that has to come out here and say, guys, they lost, I don't know, starting quarterback, lost a tight end that kind of revolutionized their offensive approach, lost a left tackle that was pretty daggone good. You know what I'm saying? Lost a running back, pretty daggone good. That kind of revitalized their offense in the sense of a passing attack out of the backfield. You know, they lost a lot of stuff. Most importantly, lost a 35-game starter at the quarterback position. Like, I'm going to have to do all these, things to tell you that, oh, and by the way, they finished 2nd in the country in points per game total last year. Scored 42 a game last year. So if they score 38 points per game this year, by the way, which will be 2nd most in the history of Kirby Smart football at Georgia, if they score 4 points less this year, you will be out here in these streets talking about Bobo ain't shit. Like there will be people like that. Okay. I don't necessarily think that's the reality. Here's what I have said, and here's what I will continue to say about this topic. Todd Monken is a top 35 offensive coordinator with regards to passing concepts. His ability to design people open and call people open when they need to be open, top 35. It's why he's in the NFL. It's why he's got a job, right? It's why he should have won the Broyles Award last year if he did. Okay. I think of Mike Bobo in a top 35, or I would say top 50 maybe, like in the world in run game concepts. I've watched Mike Bobo for years design excellent run plays. And you think it's easy. It is not. It is not as easy as lining up, putting guys in positions to win their one-on-ones and doing it. It's about designing winners. It's about designing motions and packages that you know will leave a defensive vulnerable in one particular gap and then having the right time to call it and hit that gap. Like, I think you're going to see, and I've said it, this is the third time now in this program I've said this, so I hope you're listening. For every single time last year you watched on television and said, holy shit, that guy's wide open. How'd that happen? You're going to say the same thing about run plays. There's going to be run plays that are as fat as me and holes that are as fat as me. And you're going to be like, God dang, how'd that happen? Coordinating. So there you go. How many points per game would Georgia have to score offensively to surprise you? 42 and above. Anything 42 and above. Question, what is wrong with businesses not taking? Marion Campbell asks, question, what is wrong with businesses not taking the film guy as a sponsor? Hey, hold on now. We might have news on that front. All right, don't you worry. Hey, don't you worry. We're going to get taken care of. And when we do, let me tell you something about this. When we finally announce, because it's already signed, it's done, it's sealed, it's delivered, it's happening. All right, when it is finally announced, our partner, I want y'all to go balls to the wall. You probably already use them. I want you to create new accounts. I want you to do everything. I want you to start anew with me, with your boy, and we're going to ride that sucker to the moon, all right? And then we're going to get a second and a third sponsor, all right? We're going to work, okay? Y'all asking me questions about high school transfers in the chat. I'm not doing it. What can we expect from Smoke Bowie this year, even though, by the way, hold on, we'll address this in a second. With the questions about so-and-so transferring to such and such school, the guy that's committed to Georgia and plays a such and such position, guys, patreon.com/Brooks Austin, hop in the Discord. We put it May 15th. That was almost a month ago. We told you what you're asking about right now in the chat. Okay? Everyone's going to be claiming they broke the news. We got the timestamps. All right? So this has long been talked about. This has long been rumored. This has long been in the works. All right? And yeah, it is. I'm not saying that's true, but yeah, you would know if you were a Patreon subscriber. What can we expect from Smoke Bowie this year? I think you can expect spot playing time unless he wins that job out over the rest of the summer and, over the rest of the summer and in fall camp. Leak faked a losing game plan once. I saw this in the chat and I wanted to talk about it because I thought it was hysterical. Mike Leach, I can't remember who it was. I can't remember where he was coaching. Oklahoma State, maybe in those days when he was out there. No, it was Oklahoma, Texas. That's what it was when he was coaching at Oklahoma. He dropped a fake game plan on the Texas sideline because he knew there were some cheating SOBs. And then what was really unique is like he called it like to set himself up on purpose. It's a long story. You got to go listen to that one happen. But basically, he left the game script, the openers on the sideline, and then called the game with that one. And then when he wanted to, started hitting bombs on them because they were expecting other plays. So he like, hey, it's, first play, halfback ISO. Second play, we're going to run dagger. All right, third play, we're going to run halfback screen. So his first two plays, he like did it. So the Texas coaches were all giddy over there like, oh, shit. Oh, we got it. We got the answers, guys. We got the answers. And then all of a sudden, the whole test ID changed. The whole test ID changed. Why can't you talk openly about NIL? What rule stops you? I don't know the rules. That's the rule. I don't know the rules. Okay. I know that schools are not allowed to be talking to team or to players and setting boards, right? Like collectives are by the rule. by the NCAA name, image, and likeness rule, as it currently situates, schools are not allowed to be involved in the NIL process. Do you think that's happening right now? Do you think college football coaches are allowing collectives to establish where their salary cap is going? Seriously, ask yourself that. Do you think Georgia and Nick Saban, or, Kirby and Nick Saban and Dabo Swinney and all these guys and Josh Heupel, do you think they are allowing some group of freaking boosters to walk around and act on behalf of nobody but themselves and go get the players that they want, not the players that the coaching staff wants? So we're led to believe that. That's what we're led to believe? No, it's not what we're led to believe. But that's how we have to talk about it. That's how we have to act as if things are being conducted, even though we all know it is not, right? That's why I'm so touch and go on this stuff. Am I allowed to say that player X asked for X amount of dollars and school Z said, no, we're not doing that? No, we can't do that. Am I allowed to speculate that they might have been asking for too much? I don't even know that. I don't even know that because they're not even allowed to be propositioning schools for the money. This is what I'm talking about. When you just unspin this little spider web, when you just start peeling little threads off, it is a fucking mess. It's an absolute mess to try to figure this stuff out. And then to be asked over and over again about certain situations when you know name, image, and likeness is a major player in that situation. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. How's the baby girl, Brooks? Oh man, we had a damn thing go down today. It's all right though. Everybody's good. Everybody's good. I'm gonna tell you what. Sidebar. It's a family sidebar. I always told my wife, and you can plan everything you want in life except for how and when you have children. Well, I guess when, but how you have children and what you have, you cannot plan that. But I am blessed in the sense that me and my wife from day one, well, like one of the very first things we talked about when we knew we were serious and we were going to get married, because we were very serious very early on. That's how you get married at 23 and have kids by 25, 26, right? We were very serious early on. And one of our very first conversations was our birth plan, right? And what we wanted to have, when we wanted to have it in our plan. And you can only plan these things out so much. And so if you're listening tonight and you're thinking about having children, here's how I would suggest you do this. Okay. And here's how we did it. I don't suggest you do this, but here's how we did it. We knew we wanted a boy and we wanted a girl like everybody else. That's what everybody wants, right? So here was the plan. We try to have a boy because we wanted the boy first. If we have a girl, we try again for a boy. Okay. If we have another girl, so now we have two girls, then we try again one more time for the boy. And if we have another girl, 3 strikes, you're out. You're done. You just don't get a boy, right? Same thing, vice versa with the girl. Or if you have the boy first and you try for the girl, you have the girl, boom, you're done. No more kids, right? We just wanted a boy and we wanted a girl. And in my mind, I always wanted a boy that would come out looking just like me, but he couldn't act like me because he'd get himself in way too much trouble the rest of his life. So I wanted him to look like me and maybe act a little bit like my wife. And I wanted my daughter to look just like my wife. I wanted one just like her, but I wanted her to carry herself with a little bit of, you know what I mean? A little bit of that dog in her. Boy, let me tell you something. My son, almost 3 years old this July, ain't never been to the hospital one. Now, he did have a little stint, but that's the whole thing. But never been to the hospital, never been to the ER, never had oh my God, we got to take him in. Do we have to take him in? Shit, we're rushing to the hospital. Never once. My damn Riley is 11 months old. We've been in the hospital twice already. Twice. I mean, she got hit with a chair today. A chair fell over because toddlers, okay? Chair fell over, whack, a whole thing. It was crazy. But hey, super tough, okay? Got back up, shook it off, rubbed some dirt on it. All is good. All is good. But damn, I'm going to tell you what, ain't shut up since the moment she came out. Does that sound familiar? I mean, ain't shut up. Ain't closed her mouth since, ain't stopped talking since she came out. Just nothing but noise. Sounds about right. Checks out. How long until you make the big reveal? I would say like mid-August is an important time to be around this channel. That's what I'll say. What's our honest chances of getting Jeremiah Smith? Georgia fan 224. You know, I wish there was this thing, and maybe we'll call it a majiggy. I wish there was this thing that would allow me to answer this with an exact percentage of how I feel. And if there were such a thing, and all you had to do was pay $10 a month to see it, Would you do so? Because I would. Patreon.com/Brooks Austin. We've already submitted a Majiggy for Jeremiah Smith. You would know the exact answer to the utmost percentile. I mean, on the dot. Ain't gonna miss. Majiggy. Majiggy don't miss. All right. If you wanted to find that out, Patreon.com/Brooks Austin. Let's see here. Oh, man, we must be way behind. Actually, I think we're all right. Got about 5 minutes left here. Get your questions in. What are your thoughts on the defense going into 2023? How many points allowed average, I guess is what he's asking here. Thoughts on the defense. Your linebacker play is going to be so great that this might not be an issue. But I don't love like 2 through 7 on the defensive line right now. It's not what it was. Like everybody, I know everyone wants to come to the microphone and tell you Georgia's still elite at the defensive line position. I think Mykel Williams is a really great football player, right? I think they have some young football players on that defensive line that have some upside. Y'all know how much I love Kristen Miller. But, I mean, y'all know how much I love Jordan Hall. You know how much I love Damon Wilson. All these things. But, like, Warren Brinson, great college football player. It's year 5, right? Year 5, year 4. Good college football player. Going to need to play great this year for Georgia to maintain what they've been maintaining from a defensive line perspective. That being said, maybe Jamon Dumas-Johnson and Small Mondon are so damn good that it doesn't matter. You know, maybe the defensive backfield's so good and you're so one-dimensional in the form that you can't throw the ball on Georgia this year that it doesn't matter. I will tell you this. Every single time I've tried to think about why Georgia's defense would get worse, they never do. You know what I mean? Like, even since, I mean, last year, prime example, they have, 7? Their front 7, basically. Their front 7, essentially, after the first national title is gone, except for Jalen Carter. That's it. Everybody else is gone. Still lead the country in defense, basically. So, like, I don't know. I think it's fool's gold to sit here and be like, oh, man, like, you know, Georgia's going to take a step back. All right. Let's see. I'm on. Brooks is a dude in the UGA football community feed on Bleacher Report. Am I on the Bleacher Report feed? That'd be cool. I don't think I am. Am I? Did they add me to that? I haven't looked at Bleacher Report in years. I used to look at it all the time when I first got into the business because I was trying to get our Dogs Daily stuff on there. I would submit. Do y'all see my stuff on Bleacher Report nowadays? I don't even know. I know we get hella pull elsewhere. Google's loving the boy. Twitter obviously loves the kid. YouTube subscribers, we need to get that up somehow. I don't know what I'm doing wrong there, but I feel like we got some really, really good content. And you know, maybe it's all about the climb. Maybe we'll just keep grinding. Are you concerned with the way Beck handles the crowd noise in Neyland? Asked Jason Sanders. I think there's reasonable doubt. Okay. Obviously you don't know what you don't know when it comes to that kind of stuff, but I don't worry about Carson Beck. I told a guy that played at Georgia yesterday that's coaching in the what are they now? Is that he coaches at Memphis? I don't know what Memphis is playing in. No, he's at Middle Tennessee State. I was talking to him and I was, you know, he was asking me, he's like, what do you think? I said, dude, I think Carson Beck's gonna be an absolute freaking star. I don't think he's gonna be a superstar because I don't think he likes it like that. I think he just wants to be a normal kid. I think he wants to not normal kid. He wants to be a normal dude. He don't want spotlight. The last thing he wants is to go out with his girlfriend and have somebody take photos of him or ask for an autograph. He just wants to be a JAG. He wants to be just another guy outside of the football field, but he's ultra competitive on the football field. So yeah, I've been on the record. I think Carson Beck's going to be a stud this year. I don't really worry about anything like that. Just because I kind of like I trust what the pedigree is. I trust what the makeup is. I trust what the fundamentals look like. I trust what I've seen. I think the thing that goes by the wayside is that we have a really, really large sample size of Carson Beck. Yeah, you could call it garbage duty, but guys, I mean, how many attempts last year did he get? We told you the other day that, I mean, Jalen Milroe and our boy Tyler Buckner have a career 127 career passing attempts. 127 career passing attempts amongst the two of those guys that are competing for a starting job. Okay. So I don't really know. I always felt like when Carson got into the game the last couple of years, they've actually played offense. I've actually got to see him process. And what we saw in the spring game was obviously a player who is in command of what he is doing. Okay. When I see guys go click, 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 ball out, right? Click, click, ball out, click, nothing's open, ball out. Like nothing's going to be open, ball out. Like that's playing the quarterback position. Let's see here. Who do you think will be the end of line tight end to take Big O's spot this year? Yeah, so obviously, again, patreon.com/Brick Sauce. A lot of this stuff we hit back in February. I mean, this role was obvious who was going to step up and do this very early on because Mance put a fork in his mouth really, really early and started bulking up. But it is Oscar Delp. Did y'all know Oscar Delp's like 250 pounds? I don't know if people understand because they look like normal kids and they're 17, 18, 19, 20 years old. And I don't think you understand just how freaking massive these humans are. He's 6'4", 250 pounds. So, yeah, he's going to get his butt on the end of the line of scrimmage this year and block some. Hell yeah. Shouts out John Lynch. Shouts out a Bleacher Report. Shouts out Sway. I don't know. Every time I do shouts out, I feel like I got to shout out Sway. I know we got folks in the chat right now. It's loaded up. We got a thick group right now. But I'm going to tell you right now, I'm out of here. It's been a long week of content production. We're going to be back on Monday, and we're going to be firing it off. I love you. Hit that thumbs up button on your way out. If you're not already, subscribe. We'll see you next time. NCAA players, just say yes. Just sign in. Just sign in.